name is Jamie Kaz. I am the Executive Director of Normal KC, and I'm going to be your host this evening for this training. So thank you for volunteering to help give Missouri citizens access to adult use marijuana. Your dedication is crucial to our success. Nearly 3 years after Missourians voted with almost 67% support to legalize medical marijuana, our campaign wants to give voters the opportunity to legalize marijuana for adult use in 2022. A citizens ballot initiative was filed on August 27th by Legal Missouri 2022, a statewide coalition of activists, entrepreneurs, cannabis patients, and criminal justice reform activists with the goal of providing a fresh start to tens of thousands of state residents whose criminal records would be wiped clean of low-level marijuana offenses. There's finally widespread support among our voters to regulate, tax, and legalize marijuana, and now is the time for Missouri to join the other 19 states that have successfully regulated and taxed adult use marijuana, bringing millions in new funding for vital state services. I have a naughty kitty that wants to be on the screen. Sorry. Now that how about I actually share the pages? Technical difficulties, I apologize. Now that the petition has been approved by the Secretary of State, we have begun collecting the nearly 172,000 valid signatures needed by May 8th, 2022. Residents of Missouri have the power to propose legislation as a constitutional amendment on the November 2022 ballot by collecting enough valid signatures in at least 6 of Missouri's 8 congressional districts. If the signature threshold is reached, the measure goes on the ballot. If the ballot language receives more than 50% of yes votes next year, the measure becomes enshrined in the Missouri Constitution. The outcome of the campaign will largely depend on the ability of volunteers in existing marijuana facilities to effectively gather approximately 100,000 signatures. So we have a little bit of a job ahead of us, but we can do it. The initiative, the nitty-gritty. Key elements of our language. Adult use allows Missourians 21 years and older to possess, purchase, consume, and cultivate marijuana. Expungement creates automatic expungement for Missourians with non-violent marijuana-related offenses. Small tax to crucial programs. 6% retail tax surplus is split equally between veterans' health care, drug addiction treatment, and Missouri's underfunded public defender system. Public safety maintains prohibition on public use and driving under the influence. Violent offenders and those who offenses involved distribution to a minor would be ineligible for expungement. Medical dispensary conversion. Existing dispensaries could quickly convert to serving both patients and adult consumers, which means, because when we legalize in states for medical or for adult use, it's actually cutting out the black market. Key elements of our language. Local opt-out. Local allows local communities to opt out of adult use retail marijuana sales through a vote of the people. New business licenses adds a minimum of 144 new cannabis businesses to the existing 380 licenses and puts Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services in charge of licensing and implementation. Constitutional amendment prevents legislator from gutting the initiative after passage. That is very, very important. A lot of times there's statutory amendments that once the legislator gets back in session, they can tweak it and they can change it however they want. The same thing with bills that go through the legislator. They may get passed, but the next legislative sessions, they can go and tweak it and change it however our lawmakers feel. This is a vote of the people, and to make any changes, will need to be done by a vote of the people. So rules for signature collecting. This is very important. So make sure your listening ears are on. Basic eligibility requirements. To ensure that your valuable time and efforts are not wasted, please familiarize yourself with the following rules for signature gathering, and be sure to review these instructions thoroughly before collecting signatures. Signature gatherers must be at least 18 years of age. So we cannot have anybody under 18 years of age collecting signatures. Only registered Missouri voters may sign the petition. If they are not registered to vote, they can do so at the website, Secretary of State, sos.mo.gov, Vote Missouri. It will take about 2 weeks for the state to process newly registered voters before they are able to sign. I will go into a little bit of that later, but it is extremely, extremely important that we only have individuals that are registered voters in Missouri sign the petition. One county per page. Signatures of voters from each county must be on a separate page. Signatures of voters from counties other than the one designated in the upper right-hand corner of the page will not be counted. So, at the very top, I don't know if you can see my little arrow, it says county right there. That is going to be, for example, Kansas City, Jackson County is a very large county. So it'd say Jackson County right here. And then right below here, everybody that filled this out needs to be a registered voter from Jackson County. They cannot be from Clay County. They cannot be from Platte County. They have to be a registered voter from Jackson County. Be sure to have a separate petition page for each nearby county and some blank ones in case somebody from another county wishes to sign. Be aware that St. Louis City is a separate county and must be on a different page than St. Louis County. Leave the page number space blank. So this is what the page looks like when you're going to be gathering signatures. The first page is your petition sheet. What they're going to do on this first line, if you can see my arrow, that is where they're going to sign. They sign first, they put the date, so today's date, which would be 1/19/22, and then their address, their residential address that they use to register to vote. That's the address that they need to put. We don't want to see much abbreviations. If they want to put street, ST, that's fine, but it needs to be, the most important thing, it needs to be legible. So when you have people who are completing this, tell them, okay, I need you to sign your name and then fill out the rest of this legibly. And I usually hold it right there in front of them and watch them sign it. Watch them fill it out. Then you have your zip code, and then congressional district. You might not be able to see it because it's kind of small. You leave that blank. So you do not need to fill in your congressional district. And then they print their name legibly. Everything down here, you do not fill out. That you need to fill out in the presence of a notary. So if you fill any of this out, you will not be able to get it notarized. So do not fill that out. And we will go over this a little bit more. Okay, so registered address. Registered address, the address on the petition sheet must be the address at which the person is registered to vote on the day they sign the petition. Signer must list a residential address. It can't be a business address. Signer should leave the congressional district space blank. So just like I said, that section, they leave blank. And then this red circle right here, that's the address. Make sure that each signer fills in all of the required or requested information. and no ditto marks. So if the person on the top line has Kansas City, Missouri, ditto marks will not work for that second line. That signature will not be counted. Official name and signature right here. The name and signature should be that which the signer uses on official documents. So like their driver's license. And I always tell people when they're signing that they're actually signing first, because everything else in life you print then sign. Not here. You're signing and then you print your name later. Each person can only sign the petition once. Very important. They can only sign once. If they sign again, it will not be counted. If someone cannot remember if they have signed already, ask them to go ahead and sign, but to be aware that they cannot sign this petition again. It is illegal for anyone to knowingly sign the petition more than once or to sign for another person. You must sign and date each petition sheet in the presence of a notary public after the signatures on the sheets have been collected. Very important. You can't just bring in a blank petition and expect it to get notarized. When you're asking for signatures, you are witnessing individuals sign this petition. When you go to have it notarized, you are swearing in front of a notary that you witnessed these people sign this petition paper. Signatures dated after the notary date can cause the whole page to be deemed invalid. We don't want to lose 10 signatures. Every signature counts. So we need to make sure that it's legible and everything is filled out correct. A lot of times when the Secretary of State is going through and they're validating signatures, they may not look at every signature on a sheet. They may only look at 2 or 3. And if one of them's wrong, they may just toss the whole entire petition. So that's why it is very, very important that it is legible and that it's done correctly. You are attesting that you personally witnessed all of the signatures on the page, so each petition must belong to a specific petitioner. So since you are going to a notary and you're saying that you witnessed every single person sign that petition, you cannot have somebody else circulate your petition for you. If you are a business, you cannot leave your petition there at the end of your shift and have your coworker continue to fill out that sheet. Absolutely not. This is your petition and your petition only. You need to take care of it. Very important. So general petitioning rules. Please do not make copies of the petition pages. Each petition page is an official legal document. Only originals are acceptable. Please email, and then there's an email address, chris@amendment2consultants.com when you're running low. If you have any questions, you need more petitions, reach out to us. We will get you the supplies that you need. Do not print. The way that these petitions, they're stapled and bound in a very specific way that has been approved by the Secretary of State. If it's done any other way, it will not count. Blue or black ink only. All signers must use blue or black ballpoint pens. Signatures made in pencil will not count. Make sure you have extra pens with you. You must personally witness each signature, so do not leave your petitions on a counter or a bulletin board unattended. Only fill in specific information fields. Do not write anywhere else on the petition sheet. Make any unnecessary marks, cut the petition, or take the petition apart. When you get your petitions, the front top page will be your signature page. The rest of it, it's thick, is the language of the petition. So do not go through it. Do not highlight. Do not make marks. Do not do anything with it. You can read it. Feel free to read it, but do not make any marks on it. And do not use whiteout. If there's a mistake, draw a single line through it, but do not write white, black, scribble it out completely. Election officials want to see the error. have the signer initial small corrections or start over for bigger mistakes. If it's sloppy, if you can't read it, if they've scribbled, no. If they've made a mistake, just one single line through it, move to the next line. You have the right to collect signatures on public property outside a public library, courthouse, city hall, or public sidewalks surrounding a theater, sports, or concert venue, shopping district, etc. Alert the campaign staff if you need to report any behavior that you feel is harassment. Do not argue with a police officer. Do not argue with a police officer. Have an extra petition available so people can read the complete language of the measure if they'd like, while allowing you to continue to gather signatures from others. Do not give them a petition with signatures on it. They may walk off with it. So you might want to, print the initiative language yourself and have it with you that people can review. That's totally fine. Please do not alter, correct, clarify, or obscure any information that a signer writes on the petition. Common sense for signatures to be deemed invalid, or common reasons for signatures to be deemed invalid. Signatures for more than one county are on a petition page. So like I said at the beginning, you can only have one county per petition page. So we don't want to mix those counties. Signer is not a registered voter in Missouri. Big issue there. Failure to circulate, to sign, date, notarize petitions. Signatures are dated after notary date. Signatures are dated after. The information is insufficient, illegible, or ambiguous. Petitions are marked, defaced, or something has been whited out. So with that, I'm going to kind of go over a couple other key things and some key points for you to really take away with you. When you're out gathering signatures, you may have done this before. This may be your first time. I always recommend that people go out with partners. It's more fun with partners, and you also get a little bit more comfortable. I always suggest that people maybe start out, if it's your first time, talking about the initiative with their family, with their friends, bringing it to, let's see, playoff games, parties. Chiefs are in the playoffs. Lots of parties going on, bring the petition. Hey, do you know that there's going to be an initiative to legalize adult use marijuana in Missouri? That's incredible. So yeah, talk to people about it. And the more you're talking with your friends and your family about it, the more comfortable and confident you're getting. I would say when you're reading through the language, find something that you're passionate about. Are you passionate about the expungement? Are you passionate about the employment protections that it has? Are you passionate that, it's expanding patient protections? I'm super passionate that it has parental protections for marijuana patients. That's something that I'm passionate for and I'm fighting for. I'm super excited that it has expungement. So find that one thing that you're super passionate about, and you talk up that one thing to people when you're talking to them about the petition. I always like to start by asking, first question, are you a registered voter in Missouri? If they say yes, excellent. How would you feel about signing a petition to legalize adult use marijuana in Missouri? If they're like, that sounds fantastic, of course I want to sign. Excellent. What county are you registered to vote in? That should be the next question. So then you can pull out your county page and you can get the right county and they sign the right sheet. As they're signing, be sure to point out, I'm going to have you sign here, fill in your address, your zip code. You don't have to worry about your congressional district. Then you print your name and then watch them do it. One thing that I don't want to hear about or see is arguing. Are you a registered voter in Missouri? Yes. Are you interested in signing a petition to legalize adult use marijuana in Missouri? No, absolutely not. That's the devil's lettuce. Okay. You can always come back with one thing like, oh, well, do you realize that this will allow people to have their criminal records expunged for nonviolent marijuana offenses? And if they're still like, nope, that's it, you're done. You do not have to get every single signature. People are going to say no. That's okay. That's all right. But be prepared for them to say no. Have something else to say. Or you could be as simple as, thank you, have a good day. We are always polite. We are always kind. We do not want to get in arguments. Just like if somebody asks you to leave an area collecting signatures, that's fine. Are you registered voter in Missouri? Big one. What county are you registered in? Don't argue. If anybody asks you a question and you don't have the answer, that is okay. And it is okay to say, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can find out that answer for you. Get their email address, get their phone number, follow up with myself, follow up with somebody else from the campaign. We will get you those answers and we will get that individual those answers as well. Be sure to read over the initiative. Like I said, find out what you're passionate about and really talk that up. Remember, make sure that everything is legible, everything is neat. Do not share petitions. So again, if you are a business and you have petitions there, I would suggest when a staff member clocks out, you take those petitions from that person and you lock them in a safe, or you put them in a file cabinet so nobody else can use those to sign. I would suggest getting a Post-it and putting a name on that Post-it and sticking it to the petition so you're not confused on whose petition is whose. Because we don't want confusion. We don't want to get these mixed up. It is very, very important that it's one person per petition and one county per petition. If you're asking for signatures and somebody's kind of on the fence, that's the point to where you can start educating them a little bit. You can tell them about the protections that it's having in there for our medical patients. You can talk about the expungement. And if they're still on the fence or they're kind of like, I usually say, well, you know what? If you sign this petition, it doesn't mean that you necessarily support it. What it means is that you believe that this should be up to the people of Missouri. It should be up to the voters and citizens of Missouri to make that decision. And I would say 8 times out of 10, those people sign. So that's also another kind of best practice that I like to use. So I think that's everything. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to see if there's any questions. No open questions and no chats. Did anybody have any questions? We will be emailing everybody who participated today information, some materials. So look for that email coming out. My name again is Jamie Kaz. It's J-A, M as in Mary, I-E. My email address is Jamie, J-A-M-I-E, P as in Paul, K-A, C as in cat, Z as in zebra, @gmail.com. If you have any questions, there's a Q&A. Feel free to let me know. Will we be getting these slides? I will answer live. I believe you will be getting the PowerPoint presentation for this. So I would suggest when you get that PowerPoint presentation, really pay attention to the page that has the petition sheet on it. And then when you get your petitions, really look at it because it's kind of hard to see because it's small, but it's pretty good size in person and it's a lot easier to read. But just remember, don't fill out anything on there before you get it notarized besides the county in the upper right-hand corner. Just fill out that county. That's all you have to fill out. That's all you can fill out until you get it in front of a notary. Once you have your sheet with 10 signatures, that's awesome. Keep filling them out. Keep getting them filled in because we want to see them. Because we cannot do this without the help of our amazing volunteers and the help of our permanent signing locations. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, taking time out of your chilly Wednesday to participate. Oh, please, there's more questions. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. Okay, so somebody was able to print the docs from their webinar email. Fantastic. Do we have our website to? Yes. Okay, so I don't know if anybody's on Facebook, but there is a Facebook page for volunteers. So we will be sure to get that information over in an email as well. Go to Legal Missouri, or I think it's legalmo2022.com. You can check out the website there, check out the Facebook page. And like I said, we can get you an invite to that group, because a lot of times it has events that we're looking for volunteers at. We are looking for volunteers for the Chiefs game, the tailgating playoff game. So if anybody's interested in that, we would love to see you there. I would say, my dog is barking. Next Thursday, the 27th in Kansas City, we're going to be doing a training and notary event at Opera House at 6 o'clock. It's from 6 to 8 o'clock. So that'll be a good opportunity if you live in Kansas City to come and get new petitions, or to get your other petitions, your completed ones, notarized. We'll be doing that in Kansas City every other week. So look for that, and be sure to like us on Facebook, and because we'll also have events listed there as well.